So like at the time, they were still kind of like trying to investigate as many cases, and the best way to go about it is to isolate folks. You actually have to have like a work permit if you are to go to your work place. And if you don't, you're fined by the cops. I think the fines at the time were like $500, something like that, something on the around that price range. So outside of my home as well, there was a police car. So there was like they were patrolling people, and if they were not patrolling people, they were by car, by foot, by horse. They were just kind of like also getting in touch like with workplaces. It was a very draconian, dark times. Um, yeah, period.
That sounds wild. Well, I'm glad that you were able to at least find a community to scold, right?
Yeah.
Now, when people tag you for help or jokes now, do you ever feel like you're playing a character, or do you really just feel like it's you with the volume turned up at this point?
So I'm definitely a lot different compared to like 2021. I like one, obviously I have to be because growth, hello, human growth, that's a thing. But also do that. Even though I'm tempted to.
Uh-oh. Did I lose you? Or is it just me rugging?
Sure, can you hear me?
No, I think it was Wise. Yeah, now we can hear you, but we lost you there for a second.
Yeah, perfect. I was gonna say, like, sometimes I'm just, if it was like 2021 me, I would have argued back because I don't have time for bullshit. I really don't. I'm like, hey, I'm short on time. I've got like class in an hour. I just don't have time for your crap. Just if it's something that's not yours, burn it. If it's something that you stole, I don't want a justification, just burn it. But now it's
burn it.
Just burn it. Like, I don't want to know your life story or like how you didn't know that something that doesn't belong to you.
Look, it was a really pretty picture I found on Google on a random search for really pretty pictures, and I thought I could mint it and make some money.
I just like I think like in so many ways, this space has shaped me to be a better person, more patient, and more tolerant to BS. But at the same time, it has given me like a very warped sense of humanity. Like it really has. Like I had no idea how bad greed was till I came here to like studying like Web3. And what's more terrifying is that greed coupled by ignorance is even more terrifying. And that's just the way it is, unfortunately. Even though you can kind of like guide people and explain things to them and just like, because you want the best for them, you don't want them to have like a bad take on the space, your goodwill will be lost. It will be destroyed.
So you see everything, the heartfelt, the hilarious, and the full-blown meltdown. When you're managing a space like Object, what's your instinct when things start spiraling? Do you step in? Do you let it breathe? Or do you just drop a one-liner and move on?
Oh no, I have to like take some like control of it. I have to at least calm them down. So in the period where I think probably the most, I can give you so many examples, but I'm just going to stick with the closest one that I can think of right now. So when the website firstly changed from like the Optic legacy to now, there was upheaval. It was chaos. For 48 hours, everyone just lost their shit. And I'm like, okay, that's okay. We can do this together. So I calmed down the people that I need to calm on the timeline. I talked to the people that I did on the in the DMs. I took their suggestions. I compiled questions and feedback for the devs. I've also reported like bugs. It has to be all hands on deck situation because I see it also from not just as a person that works for the platform, but as a user as well. So I take that into account. I'm like, if I don't like this, chances are somebody else doesn't like it. And like this can be improved. And I take that on to the devs or the co-founders and we can work something out. I think the problem is, if there's a problem, it has to be fixed. If it couldn't be fixed, you have to be as honest as possible with the users and as transparent. I'm like, hey, it can be fixed because we don't know the cause, or this is something from a third party, or whatever the problem is. As long as you're transparent and honest with the users, they would understand. They would even give you some leeway and grace when things can't be, because they recognize like, oh, I'm glad that somebody listened to me. I'm glad that at least we know what the root of the issue is. Whether it's fixed or not is irrelevant at this time frame, but I know it will be in the future because it's taken into consideration. Like the users are more important, and calming down is a priority. So, and I urge like any kind of like company, or especially in Web3, like user retention it's incredibly difficult. It really is. But if there's somebody that I guess humanizes the platform and just kind of gives it like that voice, that's what makes it worthwhile. And if something doesn't work,
blame
just
Wise.
I mean, it's the easy way, right? If something doesn't work, then at least like you have someone that listens to what you had to say at the time. So acknowledging that is really important.
Now, you must get DMs ranging from genuine issues to like, hey, can you fix my wallet real quick, to, like, I don't know, I can't, anyway, how do you tell when something's worth your time and when it's literal noise?
Oh, it's all worth my time. Like, you think I'm kidding, I'm really not. It's all worth my time. Even, okay, I'm just gonna, because I'm pretty much like okay, I'm gonna be a bit blasé about it. I'm like essentially the person that sweeps up the trash and separates the trash. That's just like the easiest way to think about it. Like it's not all hand holding and, kumbaya and shit. No. Most of the inquiries do come to me. And even with the support portal, it's the exact same thing. Most of the inquiries do come to me, or if they're too terrified of going to the support portal, it's still in the DMs, it's still in the timeline. Because again, that the thing that I mentioned in the beginning is like that rapport. It's like how long you've known this person, and I'm comfortable with just dealing with them, kind of thing. Even if it's something that's out of my hand or way too technical, I will still be tagged. I'll obviously escalate to the right person, or I'll try to kind of like break it down as much as possible. But most of the inquiries do come to me. And if it's not like tech issues, wallet issues, bug issues, I'm like, curation, you already know at this point, it's not me. I'm not that person. I think they fully understand that now, even though sometimes I do get it from time to time. Like, I'm not the curation person, go to them. And that's partly because now, at the time, Kableen, Kika, and now Raquel, they're really visible on Twitter. So everyone knows to like bother them with curation requests or whatever it is. Everything else primarily comes to me. And then it's escalated to the right person.
Now, what is the wildest DM you've ever gotten that made you close the laptop and walk away?
I think you need like hours for the space to happen, because hey, okay, I'm just gonna talk about the recent one. So I've restricted the account for wash trading, and first time give them a warning. I explained what the wash trading is and like the practice it's frowned upon, and faking volume is not the best way to retain collectors and all this stuff. Normal shit, right? The guy responded back with a ChatGPT letter to the lawyer, an affidavit to the lawyer, pretty much saying that I will be collecting all the information. He is like an affidavit, and you need to provide all the evidence. I'm like, okay. I'm like, hey, do what you want. It's okay. I've got other things to do. I've explained the issue and like primarily why it is the way it is. So he sent another DM with, I kid you not, a call to all artists. Hang on, I'll actually pin it because I think this is no, that's giving it too much attention. Essentially a call to all the artists that have been targeted and harassed by an employee, a watchdog, that's restricting all accounts. Join in the campaign, and I'm going to take them to court, and I'm going to sue them because I've won a class action for $20 million. I really fucking wish I was kidding. I really do. But this was Monday, and it's dragging on till now.
Now, is this a typical Monday for you?
This is like a typical Monday. It just, it really is. Not like the ChatGPT Ebba David, but just insane requests or just insane people.
That
That's
is
just kind of like the way
wild.
it is. Yeah.
That is wild.
You know what? Because I really think you might get a kick out of it. I typically don't do this because, again, privacy is paramount. But I do know like this is pinned, and I think it's like on the user's Twitter profile, just in case anyone wants to kind of like mention it, wants to see it.
Wow,
So,
that's great. You are surrounded by love. That is for sure. Now, Wise, you've said a lot without saying much. Most of it is through your tone. When you lean into sarcasm, is it more about protecting yourself or protecting the room from itself?
oh wow, psychoanalysis in the morning. Holy shit. I think like as I mentioned, it's part of my personality. Like I have to diffuse it with either humor or sarcasm, otherwise I'll go insane. And I think in a space that's fast paced and chaotic and sometimes toxic, you need that edge. Otherwise, you lose your mind and become arguably one of the most toxic individuals that are posting for the sake of posting. And I prefer not to do that. If you've noticed kind of like my account, especially this year, I don't post as much like thoughts and stuff like that. I mostly just kind of like tweet about art, about like platform updates. I try to keep it very platform based, and that's really the reason. Like obviously my personality shines here and there, right? But I think we're in this phase where we're the maturities phase, and I think that's a good thing. However, there are a few things that I don't really like. I don't like where the trajectory of them, and I kind of like it takes a while to kind of like really compile my thoughts and send it to the relevant person, because posting these things on a timeline is no longer productive. You're gonna get two things: one, people are gonna pile on, or two, people are just gonna twist whatever the narrative is. And I prefer not to be that kind of person. I prefer to kind of give the other parties a benefit of the doubt, because I think that's just a gesture of goodwill. And I would hope they would afford me the same. But again, that's really up to them. And two, it will also give them time to process things as well. Yes, I say shit on the spaces. I'm fully aware of that. But like, let's be honest. Come on, man. I say shit in the spaces, and I would say the exact same thing in a DM. Like, if I say something in the space, I truly mean it. If I say something on the timeline, because it's really easy to kind of twist things, especially here. If I say things on the timeline, that means like I'm just done. Like I'm genuinely just, I'm like, nobody listens. No one's like paying attention to this. And no matter how many times I reached out to you trying to come to some kind of like, I guess, conclusion to whatever the actual thing is, then it's not working. Then let's just take what the community has to say into account as well, because chances are it's not me that's also having the same problem, it's others too. But that's the only time I will take it to the that's the only time I really will post it.
Take it to the
and
streets.
I prefer not to. Yeah, like I'm not really a fan of like street justice.
I feel you. We see, we watch, we know. We may not say anything, and it is action that speaks way louder than words. And
yeah,
you are definitely an individual action. Now, you've seen the good, the bad, and the burnout. When you log in each day, what still makes it worth doing? What reminds you that Tezos art, for all its weirdness, is still something special?
the people. It's always going to go to the people, and I bet every person in the space will say the exact same thing. It's the people. It's the people that show up every single day, the people that are still minting, the people that are still collecting, the people that truly believe in the ethos of like Tezos art, and that can see the future regardless of like the current climate. or the market conditions. They truly believe. And sometimes someone that's believing that hard makes you believe.
Yeah,
so
real belief is infectious. I'll agree with you there.
Yeah, there are my days, don't get me wrong, and I still hold this core belief as well. I do think there'll be a time for Tezos art to shine again. It doesn't really matter what happens, whether uranium takes up or not, or whatever's actually happening. Tezos art will always thrive. The coin, on the other hand, I'm not sure, but I think that's what makes it better.
Now, Object is basically the town square of Tezos art. From your seat, what's one thing people consistently misunderstand about how it actually runs?
The way it started, how Object kind of came to be. There's like a bit of revisionist history, right? Because people were, and I would say like maybe that assumption has somewhat changed in the past 2 years. How like Object supposedly like crushed Hicketnunk or whatever is actually happening. I'm like, no. Because again, they consider like the correlations, the causation of the actual shutdown, without fully understanding that at the time Hicketnunk had its own thing, and actually a lot of the Object devs, like the co-founders specifically, they were helping run they were part of like the Hicketnunk team. So I'm not sure if people are aware of that, but they were helping with technical stuff, they were helping with like server stuff, they were doing all these things like kind of like behind the scenes. And I know like Marching Square is too humble to even like come up and say it, so I'll shout him out. But a lot of like the Object founders wanted to actually help like Hicketnunk before even like founding Object, because at the time they had no, I don't think at the time there was like any really desire to kind of create a marketplace. They were solely focused on like there's something here is happening and they can see its potential and they wanted to scale. Not just them, but also the community wanted the exact same thing. And they introduced a feature that I think auctions, because at the time Hicketnunk didn't have the auctions aspect. And yeah, things kind of like took off. And pretty much when Object's contract, the first day it went live, the previous 2 days, I think, was when Hicketnunk kind of like shut down or was discontinued. And a lot of people had that assumption that it's because of them. They were the reason this happened, despite the fact that there's a lot of things that were happening behind the scenes with Hicketnunk. But again, the blame at the time was solely on the Object team, and that was never the case. In fact, they actually held a space. That was like the first time I've ever interacted with like the Object founders, was to explain how to mint and like, you know, the purpose of the platform. And I think you can listen to it. It's really old, like 2021 or 2-ish. Because people were freaking out, and I'm like, hey, it would make sense that if we can at least let them know this option exists, and to essentially kind of like also explain that how to kind of go about it. And that was the first interaction that I've had with the Object team. At the time, there was only like just the co-founders and Kathleen. And the space was attended, I think, by a majority of the community. And yeah, like there was still like things here and there, but then it was like the transition was relatively it was pretty quick. But again, if anyone was here for like the Hicketnunk times, you know that place held a very special place in our hearts. Yeah, people getting tattoos, man. There were T-shirts happening. Hoodies.
Yeah, it was a thing. I mean, people were in love with the movement and the idea.
Yeah.
It was a powerful thing. It still is to this day.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
if you could make one public service announcement to every artist or collector before they tweet at you, what would it be?
Support Portal.
Support Portal.
I'm gonna be that bitch that just like constantly says this, no matter the space that I go to, support portal. In fact, in this space, when I was kind of explaining what the tool is and how to use it, I'm like, hey, I'm going to beat my DMs if it's not just like a swift reply. If it's just like a really complicated one or it's something I really have to look into, please submit a ticket. Please submit like go to the support portal. It's there for a reason. And I think I'm such a fucking big advocate of that fucking tool. I really am. Because it's a mess how we respond to like inquiries. It really is. It's not just like in one place, it's everywhere. And I think that people have become so accustomed and so comfortable with just like, oh, I have a problem, don't worry, I'm just gonna tag this person to deal with it. And then another person does the exact same thing. So it's scattered. And my notifications are like everywhere. So sometimes I'm like, okay, which one is more a priority? I have to triage this shit. So I have to kind of like make sure the one with more priority is dealt with, and I have to escalate the ones that need to escalate. Oh, this is like a simple one. Oh, this one needs more research into it. So support portal. Takes like 1 minute, even like 30 seconds if it's a copy paste situation. If you already like composed like a fucking thread or a post, just copy and paste it. Use a dummy email.
I love it. All right, let's have a little fun, Wise. If you were trapped in a group chat with 5 Tezos users, who's in there and what's happening by hour 2?
Me leaving the group chat by hour 2. I think I'm kidding. I'm really not.
Oh no, I believe you. I believe that. I've known people who are like, why? Why am I here? Oh, this is really important and it involves you. Yeah, well, DM me. I'm out.
Just don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, that's funny. So the over under on someone rage quitting before lunch, you say it's you in the first 2 hours, right?
I think like this is gonna sound really fucking mean, but I'm still in 2 group chats, and like sometimes I kind of like look at them here and there, but like those group chats and Fendel is with me in the Hag. Those people have known them for like since 2021. 2022. I've known them for a really long time, but even I can't respond to the stuff like in that group chat. Because like I feel like, okay, I have to go back and see what's going on. So sometimes I just emote, send an emoji. I'm like, okay, Vendel is good. Jenny's doing her thing. I see on the timeline. And I will never leave that group chat because like those are my people. Should I respond more? Absolutely. But I think the presence of it is worthwhile. And then there was like there's another one. Eggs, but I don't respond to that at all anymore. And I keep on being added to group chats and I just leave.
All right, so don't add Wise to group chats unless you want her to leave.
No, it's nothing personal. It really is not. I think it's more just like because there's already like an assumption in a way that because you know this person, they get like more, I guess, priority or more access to you or whatever, even though I treat everyone exactly the same. It's kind of like this really, and I went back and forth with this with someone previously. It just gets messy. So the best way to kind of level it up is like, hey, no group chats. If you got something, just tag me. And that's it. If you want to have like a back and forth conversation, I'm all for it. There was this guy who left, who gave me his email because like we're like DMing each other back and forth. All we did was send gifts for a year and a half. We send gifts. He said, because I love dogs, he likes cats, and we just send like a gift every day or every other week or every other month. That was the only way we communicated, through gifts.
That's I mean, that takes a special type of level and relationship to be able to communicate through rolling gift wars. It's a powerful message platform if you understand it and use it properly. Well done.
Yeah. I mean, like we say things here and there, but like the way we communicate is just through gifts. the gifts like could be like a dog licking a bowl, and I'm like, I'll send one, and he will send one of like a cat dancing. Wouldn't know what the fuck that means, but like it's like that acknowledgement. It's like back and forth, back and forth.
It is very difficult to hold a full-on conversation in pure GIFs. I've been accused of not speaking English for doing such a thing, so I have very much respect for you.
And we had like, there was like another user, we talked about comic books. There was like another person, we talked about music. There's all these things that for me, it's better to have like a one-on-one, and that's just personally the way I prefer it. And then if there's like other people that share the similar interest, then I would ask them, hey, would you be interested in doing this? And then we'll get like a 3-way conversation happening or a 4-way conversation happening. But I think like group chats, unless it's like a specific purpose to them, like, hey, this group chat is going to be dedicated to, I don't know, books, recommendations, spaces, or like a space, updates, or something like that. But I think like group chats is just primarily like about chatting and stuff like that. It takes a while for me to respond because like...
Well, everybody's DMing you still.
Yeah, well, there's that too, but also like how far back do I have to go? Because I don't think it's polite to kind of like answer their most recent request.
You only got to scroll through like 15 pages of context.
I prefer to have like a conversation with 4 or 5 people, not 30. And that's just the way how I process things. And I also think like if it's like 30 people, then we have to share like there has to be something that's holding us together, considering that there's like 30 people with 30 different personalities and 30 different lives.
I want to see what you would be like with like a scrolling Twitch chat of like 150 people, just pure chaos. I would love.
First of all, delete. Delete. Send me the requests like ones at a time. I'm gonna get like in grandma mode, man. It's just like, oh, you got a question? Send it to me. Cool. I'll read the question.
I think at that point, aren't you just grabbing them like with your net? You've got a butterfly net, and there's an entire field of questions out there, and you're just trying to grab one at that point. No,
I'm not gonna be like, chat, what's happening? Chat. I'm like,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I could totally see you just sitting there complaining and then looking at chat. Why is it scrolling so? Pause it. Slow it down. Moderators, slow it down.
I'm like, what are you saying? What is the context behind this?
It could
Where
be
do we go from
entertaining.
here?
That could actually be entertaining. Interesting. You should maybe consider. Maybe. I don't know. I can't speak for you.
Yeah, no, because everyone's like question is important, right? Unless they're just being
Wise. I'm gonna say this, right. I'm gonna interrupt. Not everyone's question is important, and you have to put your foot down sometimes because some of these questions need to be pointed out. Like, no, you need to figure this stuff out. Some of the stuff you have to do for yourself. I want to figure it out for you. And it's not
the acknowledgement.
Well, everybody's important. I agree with you, but not every question is, and not every customer is right. That's another one. But we can't get into that. You can't have a business if every customer is right, because the one customer that's out to screw you over is going to be right every time, right?
This is coming from personal experience. Is that what it is, Banks?
Just business in general. We have to be smart. And we can't. If it was that easy, everybody would be bajillionaires at this point, right? And I noticed the bajillionaires. Anyway, we're quickly. I love how you and I can just spin off topics so quickly. Let's try to bring it back into focus. You've seen Tezos go through every phase. Notice I distinctively separated. So Tezos art.
Because I'm gonna start shitting on the Tezos.
I'm talking about art. You could talk about anyway.
Sure.
The early experimental vibe, the market highs, the quiet seasons. What's changed the most about the culture since you started? Do you think it's grown up or just gotten louder?
No, it hasn't gone. It's matured. I think, like I've said this before, it's matured. So 21, 22, and a little bit of 23. 21, 22, crazy. It was just like everyone's coming in, whether it's collecting, whether it's like, buying, whether it's like minting, whatever it is. 2023, there is like expanding. So Tezos artists are kind of like expanding to like other platforms and bringing their collectors to Tezos. 2024, you've noticed that like gradual sort of like slowed down. 2025 is that it slowed down. Like, let's be honest about this. It slowed down considerably, but there's other people from other chains that are willing to kind of like, in their words, take a risk with minting and collecting. And like, that's pretty much where we are right now. Mind you, the people that expanded in 2023 and a little bit of 2024, they're taking some time to like hone their craft. So it really is depending on the individual journey. But at the moment, I think we're at the maturing phase where the people like the previous years kind of an understanding or want to add more to their skills. And you've got newer people that are coming in to collect. And that's primarily from other chains or like through like some kind of onboarding that other users have done or some of the people that work for the platforms have sort of done.
Now,
so it's quiet, but not too quiet.
I snuck Paper Buddha up on stage. I think he might have a question for you or something to add to this, if that's all right. Mr. Buddha, welcome. How the heck are you?
Amazing. That was definitely an accident.
Well, now you're up here and you get to enjoy in Wise and quick scold him Wise, make an example of him publicly.
I'm not your mom.
I'll tell you what, listening to you has opened my eyes a little bit about group chats and just, being more sensitive to people.
No, man, like, see, you and I are different. The way I look at group chats is completely different from you. In your case, you have like your own collector base. You have like, your DeFi, I think you've mentioned a few times. And now you've got like the Discord and stuff like that. So you need it. Me, my brain sometimes just needs a rest. And sometimes it's better if like the conversation is between one or two people. And also I have like, I think ever since like 2023, a disdain for group chats. But again, that's my own personal problem. So for the love of God, don't take anything I say seriously about group chats. It's just how I feel about them. And also
it's a good reminder. It's a good reminder for all of us that we function differently, right? And that we should all be aware, like, okay, Wise doesn't like it when I put her in a group chat.
It scares me. It really does. You think I'm kidding? I'm really not. Like I get a shiver runs down my spine the moment I see my name being added to a group chat. It really, like, it scares me.
I would dig into this, but I don't want to because I just want to keep inviting you to a bunch of group chats at this point. But that's just me being childish. I won't, I promise, Wise.
And like, look, I would probably say like, hey, this has been lovely, but I think like, I can't exactly say like, I don't want to be in group chats. I have to be honest with the people that are in the group chats. I'm like, look, you guys are amazing. I'm just not the person that you want in a group chat.
So if I added you to a group chat and the image was like Jigsaw and I was like, Wise, let's play a game, would you leave?
Yes.
But it serves a purpose. See, it serves a purpose. It's not just,
that I like. That I like.
That's fair. That's fair. That's so if it was like Vegemite haters only,
I would entertain it.
See, I win. Okay, very good. Okay.
I would entertain it. But I do think, because again, it really does kind of go to how much time you devote yourself to group chats, because it takes a chunk of your time. And also the fact, like, if there's like a core value, or I don't mean like monetarily, I mean just like, do you guys share a core value? Be it like in Web3, be it in comics, be it in music, like sharing about like these things, then sure. Whatever enriches your experience in Web3 should be dedicated to whatever the group chat that you have. So if it's about music and how amazing it is, and you get a group chat about it, cool. Band recommendation, amazing.
You are a very, very refreshing take on social media, where like others are, unfortunately, we've been conditioned we need to be in these groups. We need to be part of the exclusivity. We need to have our own private circle, and we need to have other circles that we're part of that are private and exclusive. It's refreshing to hear this. Thank you, Wise.
I mean, we can kind of like attribute that to my mother. I have no other social media besides Twitter.
You don't have YouTube?
You think I'm kidding? Yeah. Well, obviously like you sign in and stuff like that, but
well, YouTube is social media. It technically is.
I never comment.
You don't need to comment. It's the algo that runs it, unfortunately.
Oh.
Yeah, think about
it. I saw like a documentary about tea, and I was compelled.
Was it Yorkshire tea?
No, it's just like this guy that just reviews his teas. And I think at the time it was like hibiscus and black tea infused with jasmine, and just like the process. Oh my God, I sound like a fucking 80-year-old. But but yeah, I'm like, yeah, this is really fucking cool.
Well, you haven't started telling us about how to make doilies, so I'm not too worried yet. No,
I haven't got to that stage. But
Wise, if you could bring back one thing from the early days, like a spirit, a habit, a feeling, what would it be?
Wait, what?
Think back to those early days. Now, you say we've matured, right? But there's still got to be something from those early days that you maybe long for now, that maybe you see as missing. If there's something you could bring back, what do you think it would be?
The price of Tez. The price of Tez.
Okay, that's fair.
The price of Tez. We all wanted to hit $7. Okay, I was not going to talk about
20,
this.
but whatever.
Whatever it is, the price of Tez. Because I think like, and again, I'm going to be relating into like, Tezos art, right? Once the price of Tez surges to like $7, $8, there's collector confidence. And then there's artist confidence. The artist will mint because like, hey, the artists have kind of like left to kind of like hone their craft. They'll come back to minting. And when they come back to minting, the other collectors will come and see that shit. And they'll start collecting. And when those people start collecting, they see other things. Because it really does inspire confidence. It's like, yes, this chain is still happening. This chain has juice. And if it kind of maintains that price point for like a year or two, which in crypto is fucking crazy, but you never know. I think like the doom of like 2027 won't be factored in, and that narrative will be shifted. So the price of Tez.
That's fair. That's very fair. Now, Wise, you host an AMA space every Friday. Mm-hmm. It's become kind of a ritual for a lot of people. What's the goal when you open that mic? Is it more about helping artists troubleshoot, or just giving everyone a place to hang out and breathe for a bit?
No, don't come to my space if you can do troubleshoot stuff. Go to the support portal. I'm not kidding. I'm being serious. But I'm not sure if you know this, but I used to hold spaces in 2021 and onwards, and I've kind of like taking a break for the past 2 years, and that's by design because the space burnout is like really fucking real. And me kind of getting back to hosting spaces, it was tough. It really was. Like, am I gonna say some stuff? Am I gonna like organize some stuff? Like, how can I structure this within the same hour? Because my spaces always run for an hour. The old ones used to run for like an hour and a half, and that was by design. Obviously, the audience still want to hear someone droning on for more like than 2 hours, and I get exhausted as well because the questions that I'm asking and the answers, and I have to kind of like factor that into the questions, blah blah blah, and the research that takes into it. So my previous spaces, even until now, it's structured. There's a community space here and there, but I just kind of prefer like, hey, the goal for this space is to talk about this. The goal for this space is to introduce this specific feature. So that way people know exactly what they're getting and they're tuning in to the part, to whichever space they kind of want. And I do think more spaces should be like that in Tezos. Hey, this is going to be a DeFi space. This is a new product. Hey, this is going to be an artist space. I'm going to be talking to the specific artist that you've known, but don't fully know yet, but you'll have the pleasure of knowing about this hour and a half. This whole thing is about like, things been released, going to talk about it. And in the end, there'll be something we'll do, whatever it is that we're going to do. I prefer to have some kind of structure. And then, yeah, people don't necessarily want to come up and chat once that.
I do. Every time I visit your space, I want to come chat, Wise.
I think it's just like, because I think now it's like 7 spaces, and it does vary. I like to think that if you're attending one of object spaces, you go away with something. Like either it's like something that you didn't know, or like something that you will know or will get to use in the future. Or yeah, the artist thing or the collector thing, because there are collector spaces that Kika hosts for as well, once a month. So it's dedicated to something, a subject. Like community spaces are amazing, and like hearing everyone's voice is amazing too. But from my experience, people that like, especially if you're hosting for a marketplace, the typical thing is like sharing their work. And that's amazing. Don't get me wrong. But there's a time and place for it, and you have to know, the time and place for it. Because they just pin their work and they just leave. Or they don't talk about their work and it's just pinned. That's like the main takeaway. But like if you're cool with the back and forth, that'd be great too. Yeah, so the object spaces, it goes for about an hour. It really is about interviews, about products, about things that people are working on behind the scenes. So yeah, and it goes for about an hour, and that's by design.
No,
it's absolutely by design.
Has anything from these sessions, has anything surprised you? Like a question, a story, something that reminded you why it's worth doing this every week?
I've gotten to know people a little bit better. I thought Strokes was like, and she's here with us, was an engineer for some reason. She's like, no, I'm a teacher. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, okay. She's a civil engineer. She builds roads.
And also like the last space that I did with Selwaki, I thought the trout, and I've spoken to this on with Strokes as well. I thought like the trout was like a symbolism, a motif, and there's like really deep layers into it. She's like, no, it was the easiest thing to do on like on a program that I was using at the time. I got to know her like a little bit more. Yeah, and like if you look at her work from start to finish, specifically in the beginning, right? It was internet commentary. It was all about like the politics that was happening in her country at the time, I guess what she was going through. And if you really spend time with her work, because I spent like I think a couple hours like really looking into it, you can see like one, her evolution, but also how she feels about a certain thing, specifically like the political climate in her country, or how she sees things when she blends like humor and internet commentary and Web3 commentary as well, because that's really amazing. There's one ad that there was a video that she did about like, I think it was 2 years ago when Binance released this fucking perfume, and it's dedicated to women or whatever the fuck, and she just made like which I really should be an ad for something, but it's like, hey, Web3 is for women too. Spray, spritz. But and because there's so many amazing artists and objects, it does take a long time for me to kind of like look into how like things changed, right? What be it the tools, but her story is still the same. Her story is still the same as a person, that is, but her work really kind of gave me an insight into who she is, and that's really amazing. And also like the space that I did with Fendel, and it was just like about music NFTs. I've interviewed like musicians before, but that space really kind of gave me an insight to like how musicians in the blockchain, the ones that are still here and the ones that will hopefully come back, what their take is on streaming services and like how that can change, and also like the struggles that musicians face in this space. It's not just the visibility that matters, it's also like how the platform should cater to them more. And Yoshi wrote a fantastic article, which I really recommend anyone to read if you just want to explore the topic a little bit more. So
You're awesome, Wise. We've covered a lot today. The empathy, the chaos, the art, and somehow still finding a way to laugh through all of it. No matter what's going on, your replies always have that mix of humor and honesty that cuts right through the noise. If you could leave the Tezos timeline with one final reply, a line that sums up how you handled the space, what would it be?
It was fun at times. It was chaotic at most, but I really enjoyed being here.
You know, that's exactly what I expected from you. Somewhere between a hug and a roast, honestly. Well, that's the line right there. WiseSigmaToad, professional chaos wrangler, community therapist, and possibly the only person who can turn sarcasm into a public service. Thanks for hanging out with us today, Wise. Seriously. What you do, it just keeps the space human, like you said, even when the timeline forgets how to act. So thank you. And for everyone listening, this has been Tuesday Tezday. We're here every week talking with the people who keep Tezos running, not just in code, but in culture. Catch the replay on X or YouTube, and if you like this one, share it with the folks who make your corner of Tezos a little less chaotic. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and we'll see you next time.